Alright, so it's been a while since I've ripped on CBR, but somebody sent me this article and I felt like this was the perfect time to just sink my claws in once again. Now, this is a definitive top 10 list of 10 Seinen protagonists that are better than Guts from Berserk. Now, I know I'm biased, and I know that I have Berserk as my top number one manga of all time, but that's not to say that there aren't other characters out there that are, within at least the same conversation of how good of a character Guts is, how complex he is, how much he develops over time, what he stands for, what he strives for, and everything that goes into that story. There are definitely other seinen protagonists out there that could at least be in the same conversation. I know I'm biased. Berserk is my favorite manga. I would put Guts as number one, but there's a couple others, and I'm not going to say who until I get through this list to see if they're on here, that I would kind of put up into the same category. However, the thumbnail image that they chose for the article has Saitama the Major and Lupin from Lupine III. And I like all of these series. I like all three of these series, but none of these three characters hold a candle to Guts in any imaginable way. I love One Punch Man. I love Ghost in the Shell. Lupin the Third I actually really, really enjoy, and I feel like it's not talked about enough. It kind of fell to the wayside, I think, because it's so old now. There have been some reboots over time, but you guys need to get on Lupin the Third. It is actually, really, really good. So let's go through this article. Let's see what 10 characters they chose that are not just on Guts' level, but are better than Guts. Obviously, it's a clickbait article, but you know what? Let's have some fun with it. Also, forgive me if I sound a little bit off. I think I have strep throat right now. I'm not going to disclose how or why I got it, but just be safe out there, fellas. Okay, so at their number 10, they are putting Lupin from Lupin the Third. Like I said, he is a really great character, but, just comparing him to Guts in any conceivable way, I just don't see how they get that. I would recommend checking out Lupin the Third. He's a thief. He's a scammer. He's a really fun character, very charismatic. I enjoy the series a lot, but let's see. Gentleman Thief, one of the coolest characters in anime history, suave personality, yada, yada, yada. His character evolved a lot since the initial debut, remains a timeless and influential part of anime to this day. So basically in these descriptions, they're not really explaining why the characters are better than Guts. That's a good place to start, especially when your article is called 10 Seinen protagonists that are better than Guts. The best thing that you could do in an article like that is within the article itself, not explain why any of these characters are better than Guts. So that's a great start. Lupin's great, but he's not even in the same category as Guts whatsoever. Not even the same conversation. Okay, number 9, Thorfinn. All right. Thorfinn, you got me, okay? Thorfinn's not a better character than Guts, but he's at least within the same conversation. He's in the same ballpark. I would put him, if I was organizing my top 10 seinen protagonists, Thorfinn and Guts would be within the top 5. Guts would be number 1. Thorfinn would be, I'd have to think about it, but probably within the top 5, if not, 2 or 3, right there up with him. Has great development, has a great shift in this character dynamic, goes through a lot of horrific trials and tribulations, sees the dangers of the world, the dangers of war and slavery, and tries to persevere to create a better world after that. He's an underdog of the series. Everything is sort of going against him, from the culture to every way that he lives. His childhood was ripped away from him. So, yeah, he's been a slave. He's been through war. Thorfinn has great development. Let's see if they even mention Berserk at all. Character is far more complex than that. Story progresses. He begins seeing that he's holding on to his anger, leads to self-destruction. Incredible development throughout the series. So again, they're not explaining why it makes him better than Guts. I wouldn't say Thorfinn is better than Guts at all, but if you put Thorfinn in the same category, makes sense to me. So this one is good. That one makes sense. So this character I don't know. Ginko is a unique and mysterious protagonist from Mushishi. I don't know what Mushishi is, so I can't comment on him. I don't know. I'm not going to say one thing one way or the other because I don't know this character. I've never even heard of Mushishi, actually, so I should probably look into that. Kaguya. Look, I got no problem with Kaguya-sama. I actually think it's a really fun, enjoyable show. It's really cute. It's humorous. It's got a lot of really good moments in it. It's just not really my cup of tea. Kaguya-sama is one of those shows that, I would totally sit down and watch the whole series if I was, hanging out with a chick or, a girlfriend or something that was into it, and she's like, let's watch Kaguya-sama. I'd be like, all right. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't be annoyed by it. I'd be like, this is fun. But on my own watching through the series, it's not something that I would probably binge or watch every episode. I think I only watched like the first like 5 or 6 episodes. It was cute, it was fun. So I can't comment on Kaguya's full development, but from what I've seen and what I know about the show, I don't see how that is, again, even in the same ballpark as Guts. Doesn't make sense to me. Also, Fujiwara is waifu. Okay, so Kaneda from Akira. Okay, this one is an interesting one because I have not read the Akira manga. I have seen the film, which of course I love, and you know they're not going to explain anything in here about why Kaneda is better than Guts. I can't imagine Kaneda's development throughout the Akira manga really coming close to what Guts has gone through. I don't know. Again, it's something that I can't really comment on, I guess, but you know, I've never really heard Kaneda talked about in the same way that Guts or even Thorfinn or Musashi or, you know, any of those characters are. And yeah, I'm actually surprised because we're already on number 6 and that there's like a couple of Seinen protagonists I have in my head I was expecting to see here, but they haven't shown up yet. If people talk about Akira, they're usually talking about the legacy and the sci-fi sort of aspects to it. I don't really hear people talking about Kaneda so much as talking about just like the world building, the sci-fi aspect, you know, the kind of dark dystopian future, the look at humanity, kind of like what the series talks about, but not really the character himself. So I don't know. Number 5, Saitama, no. Look, Saitama, look, I love One Punch Man, all right? But One Punch Man is a satirical comedy manga that has really hype action moments in it. It does get serious from time to time, but overall, One Punch Man is a parody. It's a joke. It's a joke manga. It's a gag manga. Sorry, my throat's killing me, man. But it's not anywhere near comparable to Guts in any way because Saitama doesn't really develop as a character, and that's kind of the point of his character. He's very stagnant because he is One Punch Man, right? He is Saitama. He's completely bored of the world. You know, he's a superhero for fun. He goes and gets groceries. He likes like getting the sales on things when it happens. Like he's a very basic character, and that's what makes it hilarious. Is because he's so bland, he's so bored, he's so like aloof and out of it. That's what adds to the humor, and that's why it's so fun to read One Punch Man or to watch it. Let's see. Fans love him for his incredible power and skills, but they also love his personality and the humor that he brings to the series. But that's the thing. Like he doesn't nearly go through any development that is on par of of Guts from Berserk or Thorfinn or Musashi or Poon Poon even or Kurono from Gantz or any of these characters, man. Fucking Kenshiro, Fist of the North Star. Like, there's so many other Seinen protagonists that are way beyond Saitama in terms of character. And I'm not saying that to put Saitama down because I legitimately love One Punch Man, but it's in a completely different realm to me. Like, Berserk is in a serious, like, dark fantasy realm, and then One Punch Man is into more of like a satirical parody comedy sort of manga. So no. Number 4, Alucard. All right, so I do love Alucard. I'm not going to lie. But he's not, again, he's not even in the same conversation because he's not a developed character like that. He does have a very deep history that is alluded to, and you see clues to it, and you see little fragments of his history and sort of what made him become a monster and how he views that and how he views, wanting to be taken down by a human, by their own merits and things like that. But I don't think that Hellsing is nearly long enough to even get a chance to develop Alucard to the point where some of these other protagonists are developed. Alucard, again, is kind of stagnant, minus learning about his backstory. He's stagnant, but he's super edgy, he's fun, like he's charismatic. Like I love him. I love Alucard so much. He's super like entertaining to watch. I love just the viciousness of him, just how he just revels in the carnage. Similar to Guts in that way of reveling in the carnage, but at the same time, Hellsing is only 10 volumes long, and it's really, really hard to develop a character enough within that short a time span, especially since like a lot of it takes place away from Alucard, a lot of it focuses on Ceres. It's just not even the same. So I love Alucard. I'd put him in my like top 10 protagonists probably just because I just enjoy him, but yeah, not better character than Guts. Number 3, I don't know this one either. Madoko Kaname. I don't know. So you guys tell me. I don't know who she is. Okay, so Tokyo Ghoul. All right. Kaneki, look, I don't know a lot about Tokyo Ghoul either. So It is one of those manga that I have yet to read, so I guess I can't comment on this one either. I have heard really good things, really mixed things about Tokyo Ghoul. And I do know a lot about what the character has gone through just from hearing other people talk about it and like the torture that he experienced. I don't know if that's this character, but reading about like the torture and everything that he goes through with that from what people have told me, if that's this character, at least as far as like traumatic events, you could say that they're at least in the same realm. But I don't know as far as like development of perseverance, of, you know, what they stand for, what they're striving to do. I don't really know, so that's another one. So I think it's 3 on the list that I don't really know. And number 1, Major. No. Just no. I mean, Major's cool. I like Major. It's been a while since I've seen Standalone Complex, which actually, is this thumbnail from Standalone Complex, or is this, I don't know. I've seen the original film. I've seen Standalone Complex. There's a couple of the other Ghost in the Shell films I haven't seen. But yeah, not even close. Not even close, man. Not even in the same realm as Guts. Thought-provoking and compelling protagonist who's just as beautiful as she is badass. Easily wipe the floor with just about any other Seinen protagonist out there. I mean, if you're talking like strength and skill, sure. But yeah, I mean, if you're going with like strength, power, you know, skill set, fighting ability, but that's a whole different list. So none of this on this list, no description of these characters ever explains why they are a better protagonist than Guts. They're just saying, hey, here are some Seinen protagonists. Also, we made it through 10 characters. They never once mentioned Miyamoto Musashi from Vagabond. Like, if there's any character you're going to say is a better Seinen protagonist, I don't agree, but I would at least understand and respect that opinion. I would say that, okay, you're picking Musashi. All right, I can understand that. You got a leg to stand on. You got enough development to stand on. You got enough, you know, themes, ideas, philosophies that kind of go into his character that make him that iconic. And just watching his journey from where Vagabond begins to where it is, you know, ends, whatever. You know, that's a completely different list. So I was shocked. I'm shocked not to see Musashi on here. Honestly. That one really surprises me. Maybe they're only going from anime and they're not talking about manga only, and that's the reason why. But that is, like, if you're going with the Mount Rushmore of Seinen manga, Berserk, Vagabond, you know, then you could say, there's a number of things you could say. You could say Vinland Saga, you know, you could say Gantz, you could say Monster. Where is Dr. Tenma? Dr. Tenma would also at least be in the same category. Kurono from Gantz, I think, goes through an incredible development. But yeah, there's so many better picks. There's so many better picks that weren't even on here, and it's just, maybe that's because just manga only wasn't included. I don't know. But I would say that, like, if I'm creating a list, I'm putting Musashi on there, guaranteed. Thorfinn is the only one on this list, literally the only one, where I would be willing to hear an argument about why you think he's better than Guts, but they didn't write an argument. As for the ones I don't know, like, I don't know Ginkgo, the Tokyo Ghoul one, and whoever this, like, little magic girl is. I mean, if you really wanted to piss people off, you could put Eren on here from Attack on Titan. I know that would that would get some hell of a response. That would be fun. I would love to see the banter back and forth with that. But yeah, so this is a fail. This list is a fail. So yeah, no. I take everything from CBR with a grain of salt, man. Mostly it just amuses me and makes me laugh. So I'm not taking it too seriously. Don't hate the writer of this article or anything like that. This is just for fun. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about the list that they came up with, what you think about my comments on it, and if you actually had to make a list of Seinen protagonists that are at least on Guts' level or at least comparable in some way, who would you put down below? I mean, do you agree with my picks? Is there more? I mean, I know there's a ton more manga that I need to check out in life. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and comment down below. Would really appreciate it if you help me out. I am trying to reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're getting there, but I don't know if I'm going to hit it or not. So if you want to help me get there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. And if we do, I'm going to have a massive pizza party with all of you invited. And, you know, there might be some weird ceremony with demonic entities, and maybe, like, you'll be branded or something and die and get pulled into a, you know, massive abyss while I get more powerful. I don't really know what's going to happen, but maybe we should try it.